Good morning. It is Saturday, May the 14th, about 7:15 a.m. My name is Shay Gibson with Weatherflow and I Kitesurf. This forecast goes out to the St. Pete Spring Foil event in Tampa Bay, Florida, hosted by Zack. We wish the racers the best of luck today and keep up the work to the event coordinators. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about winds and weather for the area. Taking a look at the surface map, this map is a couple of hours old. It hasn't updated quite yet. It does about every 3 hours. But for right now, this frontal boundary feature that is hanging over Tampa has moved over Tampa, and if not, it is just moving south of the area at this point. We have another frontal boundary, secondary one, approaching the area, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But for right now, the main theme is going to be a ridge of high pressure built over the Gulf of Mexico with a westerly flow pulling down into the area, and this flow is expected to remain for the day as this frontal boundary fizzles out just to the south of Tampa. This next frontal boundary will be dropping down into the area to keep that westerly flow going with a slight gradient. So these boundaries are the friends for the race event because it does keep the winds up to at least a rideable speed. So we're looking at 8 to 12 knots for today as a result of that. This boundary is going to drop down and probably stall overnight over northern Florida, if not just a little bit further south. And we'll have high pressure developing a little bit stronger in the northeast Gulf of Mexico and maybe get more of a west-northwest to northwest flow for tomorrow below it, depending on what direction that boundary lies. So the more rounded the feature, the more westerly the wind, the more angular, the more northwesterly the wind. So that's how that's going to work. Let's take a quick peek at the SPC Mesoanalysis for the area just to get an idea of what the high pressure is doing. And let me change sectors. Sorry, that's up to the north, looking at a low pressure up there. And here we go. So here's the ridge. The central high pressure looks to be well over here to the western Gulf of Mexico, with the northwest winds and the westerly gradient fanning out along or just behind that frontal boundary, which seems to be right about here. So we'll keep that northwest wind through the morning, and it may bend, bend a little bit more westerly as the day goes on. Taking a quick look at GRE on radar, we can see on the visible, we probably don't have enough sunlight to see where the cloud line is in the visible just yet. We'll probably need to give that a couple more hours at least. But if we look at the water vapor imagery, we can definitely see the dry line and right about where that frontal boundary is, and behind that is where the dry air is, and that's where those westerlies are coming down into it. So you may be seeing a few clouds overhead, maybe some cloud debris or some stratus decking up high. And as the day goes on, may see some of these clouds make it down, maybe some upper cirrus clouds. Not much, mainly a sunny day overall as we head into the afternoon. So taking a look at the sea surface temperatures, it looks like we've got about 81 degrees, 80 to 82 degrees in the Tampa Bay area. Probably see a little bit cooler just outside along the beach, maybe 79 to 80, and then inside the bay, 81 to 82 degrees. That looks to be the norm for the sea surface temperatures. Let's take a look at data scope for the area. And I want to zoom out just a little bit from the Tampa Bay site just to see what the gradient is doing offshore. And we got 8 knots out here at the West Tampa buoy. We have 12 knots from the northwest at the Pensacola buoy. And if we go further out, we'll probably see a little bit of a stronger gradient out here. So that's exactly right. Just below that boundary where it's sort of curving down over the area in this fashion, we see a little bit of a stronger gradient. And we hope that that sort of makes it into the coastline today. It's not for sure, but that's why I'm calling 8 to 12 knots. And right now we're starting out, it looks like, with more of a north-northwesterly flow. Here's the Egmont Channel sensor, and we're holding right around 9 to 10 knots with a little bit of 11 knot surge going on right now. Let's take a look at the available models for guidance. We can see most models are definitely in agreement with a west-northwesterly flow for the day. A lot of them do bring this flow up around the 10 knot mark. The Wharf model, the purple one down here at the bottom, is the highest resolution. Doesn't seem to be really meeting those needs, but I think the gradient's going to give us about at least an 8 to 12 knot run for the day. If not, maybe some 13, 14 knot bumps about mid to late afternoon during some of those sea breeze couplings. You may even see 14, 15 knots during the highest surges. So we're already starting off a little bit above values, and as we get into tomorrow, we start to see the model agreements start to kind of tilt a little bit more to the northwest. Speeds kind of come down a little bit, but I think we'll have enough gradient just to keep about a 7 to 11 knot flow, and that really has to do with where that boundary is going to be. So if we see this boundary coming a little bit closer down towards the Tampa area, we may see those winds pick up just a little bit as the gradient gets squeezed in between high pressure and that boundary. The further north it resides, probably the weaker the wind. So that's why I'm saying 7 to 11 knots, because we could keep upper single digits, and at the same time we could move into the low teens realm. Probably betting on the 10 knot range though for the most part. So that's going to do it. Not much for rain in the forecast. The next frontal boundary will hang to the north. You won't see any rains. We'll probably see just a few mid-level upper clouds today and into tomorrow. But overall, looking pretty good. The bigger kites probably will do well with this race. Zack told me last night they were using 18s. So good luck with everything. Good luck with the races. And until then, if anything significant happens between now and tomorrow, I'll come back on. Until then, take care. Thanks for watching.